Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff's ex-coach issued harsh response as expert defends Iga Swiatek's Wimbledon glory. 57 minutes. That's all it took for Iga Swiatek to achieve the unexpected, her maiden Wimbledon title on grass. To a true Swiatek fan, it felt like a statement she was giving to her critics, those who raised questions over her consistency following endless setbacks this season in Melbourne, and then on her favorite Parisian clay last month. But the former world number one simply let her racket do the talking. Even before the packed crowd settled in on their seats, Swiatek finished the summit clash with a double bagel, 6-0, 6-0, against America's Amanda Anisimova. Only one word: brutal annihilation. Right? Well, one former ATP pro had a different take on the Pole's Wimbledon victory, as he recently put big question marks on her skills. Guess what? He's now receiving heavy criticism for his words. So Brad Gilbert, who coached Coco Gauff from August 2023 to September 2024, had an interesting take on Swiatek's final victory to begin with. On X, he initially came up with a stat and wrote, "Crazy IGA Pop Tourney stat. The highest-ranked player, she has played this at Wimbledon, Samsonova, at 19 AA, is ranked 12. Not sure when last time someone won a slam without facing a top 10 player at Tennis Tweetscom at Charco Tennis." But wait, he didn't stop there. Gilbert later came up with another update. Sympathizing with Swiatek's opponent Amanda Anisimova, who struggled to win a single game in the final, he wrote, "That's a very sad day for tennis on center court at Wimbledon. Got a feel for AA. Last time that happened 1988 at Roland Garros. Final was like 35 minutes Graf versus Zverev." Now, his original take itself is quite inaccurate. Before Swiatek, just 4 years ago, British star Emma Raducanu also ended up winning the US Open without facing any top 10 player. The highest-ranked WTA pro she faced was Belinda Bencic. Days after Gilbert's doubting reactions over the poll, a notable expert has now come up with a strong and harsh response. Andrzej Persson, an expert at Polish media outlet Polsat Sport, didn't take Gilbert's words lightly. While he didn't take his name, the reference was obvious. "We've reached a time where losers can slander great stars with impunity. The idea that IGA had an easy bracket is nonsense," reported Sport.pl on July 17th. Continuing with his fitting reply, Persson clarified, "Firstly, it wasn't easy, and secondly, Anisimova, whom she defeated in the final, knocked Sabalenka out. Why spoil the celebration when this is an extraordinary success, one of the greatest in the history of Polish sports?" Unsurprisingly, Persson isn't the only who has condemned Gilbert's words indirectly. Even one of Swiatek's own team members had a fitting response to Gauff's former trainer. Iga Swiatek's physiotherapist responds to Gilbert's comments on Wimbledon win. Few days back, Maciej Ryszak, Iga Swiatek's physiotherapist, didn't hold back in dismissing doubts over the Pole's effortless win on the center court. Firing back at Gilbert's remarks, he called them so low that even you can feel the bottom, while urging him to do your research better. Later, Gilbert did share a response to growing backlash on his jabs. Trying to keep the atmosphere lighthearted, he just wrote, "Everyone take a freaking chill pill. It's Twitter ouch on sensitivity." Coming back to Swiatek's historic Wimbledon triumph, she's still not able to believe that it has become a reality. Even after snatching the Venus Rosewater dish following her 57-minute grass domination, the six-time slam queen was in awe. "Being Wimbledon champion sounds amazing and pretty surreal. I'm appreciating every minute. I'm proud of myself because who would have expected that?" she commented last week, as reported by Wimbledon's website on July 12th. Prior to this season, her best record at the All England club was reaching the quarterfinal. But look at her now, she's finally touched grass, and how. After Monica Seles in 1992, Swiatek's also the first woman to win her first 6 major finals. Going forward, she would like to continue the winning streak at the US Open next month. Do you think she will be able to replicate her unparalleled Wimbledon form at the Flushing Meadows too? Let us know in the comments below. Wimbledon 2025 had delivered more than just elegance and tradition. It gave the tennis world a lightning rod of debate, with polarizing opinions raining down as fiercely as Swiatek's forehands. Amid the acclaim for Iga Swiatek's long-awaited grass-court breakthrough, a sharp voice echoed from an unexpected place, the camp of her rival, or more precisely, her rival's former mentor. Coco Gauff's ex-coach, Jermaine Lucas, once known for his calm demeanor and tactical mind, stepped into the post-Wimbledon storm with a thunderous critique, not of Swiatek's game per se, but of the media's unbalanced celebration. "It's selective memory," he said during a roundtable appearance on Tennis Talk TV. "Iga Swiatek played good tennis, no doubt, but let's not rewrite the narrative like she ran through a prime Serena field. Half of the draw collapsed. Where was the challenge?" His words lit a fire. Swiatek had just achieved the unthinkable, her first Wimbledon title. The world number one, long dominant on clay, had finally conquered the surface that had haunted her. Her grass-court transformation wasn't just technical. It was emotional, mental, and poetic. She wasn't simply returning serves. She was returning doubt with defiance. But Lucas was having none of the fairy tale arc. "She's been number one because of consistency. I respect that," he added. "But let's stop pretending this Wimbledon was a gauntlet. Coco, when on her game, plays a more complete match on grass. The media just loves a redemption story." The backlash was immediate. Fans on both sides, Swiatek's stoic Polish brigade and Gauff's flamboyant American supporters, took to social media like gladiators with Wi-Fi. Accusations flew. Sour grapes, envy, arrogance. And yet, somewhere in the eye of the storm, a voice of clarity emerged. Enter the expert, Joanna Wilczynska, analyst and former Polish pro. Wilczynska, a respected voice in European tennis commentary, and a former top 50 player herself, published a blistering op-ed in The Guardian, defending Swiatek's win not only as valid, but one of the most complex and deserved victories Wimbledon has seen in the last decade. "Jermaine Lucas is a sharp tactician," she wrote, "but he's mistaken in thinking the absence of marquee names cheapens a title. Swiatek didn't need Serena or Prime Venus to validate her Wimbledon glory. She needed the courage to overcome herself." Wilczynska pointed out the grueling semifinal against Elena Rybakina, a former champion who had once ended Swiatek's grass dreams, as the true final in disguise. She beat the one player who symbolized everything she wasn't supposed to be on grass. Tall, powerful, fearless, Wilczynska noted. Swiatek didn't inherit Wimbledon. She took it. The psychological shift, Swiatek's inner battle. Beyond the stats and talking heads, Swiatek's Wimbledon journey was a masterclass in evolution. It wasn't just her footwork or serve placement that changed. It was her emotional control. During previous grass-court seasons, Swiatek often looked like a clay court genius lost in a botanical maze. But this year, her demeanor shifted. She meditated before matches. She adopted mindfulness from Novak Djokovic's playbook, not just tactically, but spiritually. The same calm that powered Djokovic to greatness was being molded into Swiatek's own weapon. She played the ball, not the name. Her current coach Tomasz Wiktorowski said in a post-final interview, "And that's the difference between almost and champion." Where does Coco Gauff fit in? Coco Gauff, the young American phenom and reigning U.S. Open champion, had exited the tournament earlier than expected. Her game had matured. Her backhand was sharper, her serve more potent. But Wimbledon seemed to remain her enigma. Lucas's criticism, while seemingly aimed at Swiatek, was really a mask for something deeper, disappointment. Insiders close to Gauff's camp whispered that her split with Lucas months earlier had been fueled by creative tension. He wanted aggression. She wanted composure. He pushed for dominance. She wanted to embrace maturity. And after Swiatek's win, those tensions re-emerged publicly. "Jermaine's comments weren't about Iga," said a source familiar with Gauff's team. "They were about Coco. He sees her as the real heir. Watching Iga lift the trophy before Coco, especially on grass, must have stung him." Media reactions, drama in the draw. The tennis world has rarely lacked rivalries, but this one had all the hallmarks of a modern saga. Strong women, clashing philosophies, generational pressure. ESPN's tennis analyst Patrick McEnroe weighed in. "Look, IGA's win is legit. Period. You don't dominate clay for 3 years, win majors on hard, and then finally crack grass, and have anyone tell you it's luck, he said on air. Lucas is entitled to his opinion, but he should remember this isn't about how the draw opens. It's about how a champion closes. Meanwhile, Eurosport's Laura Robson defended both parties, but called for respect across the board. There's too much shade thrown in tennis these days, she said. We should be celebrating how far both Gauff and Swiatek have come, not tearing each other down for sport. The true legacy, rivalry, or parallel rise. While Lucas's critiques seem to ignite a rivalry, it may, ironically, fuel the best of both athletes. Swiatek, stoic and calculating, may use it as motivation to sustain her reign across surfaces. Gauff, expressive and electric, may see it as a call to arms to finally solve the grass riddle. Their paths are parallel, not intersecting yet in a Grand Slam final, but destined to collide. Coco and Iga are two sides of the same coin, Włóczyńska said in a televised panel. One is discipline polished by clay, the other is fire molded by asphalt. When they meet in a Wimbledon final, and they will, we'll see whose philosophy endures. Final reflections, a sport at the crossroads. As the sun sets on Wimbledon 2025, the debate rages on, not just about winners and losers, but about how we measure greatness. Is it dominance across surfaces? Is it head-to-head wins? Is it grace under pressure? Or the number of headlines you command? For Swiatek, her glory was not just in the trophy, but in silencing the doubt. For Gauff, the journey continues, but with the eyes of the world watching. And for coaches like Jermaine Lucas, perhaps it's a lesson that greatness isn't always sculpted by your hands. Sometimes, it's shaped by those you let go. In a sport driven by individuality, perhaps the loudest voice isn't the one at the podium, but the one echoing in the locker rooms, asking the next question, what's next? Because while Wimbledon 2025 crowned Iga Swiatek, the real war has just begun, in minds, hearts, and headlines.